I've been recovering from a cold, but I want to do a video covering all of those 2026 set reveals that I missed. There's a lot of odds and ends here, weird sets that are just one-offs, but there's full themes that I wasn't able to cover. So we're going to be covering a lot of things. You're going to want to use those time codes to see which themes are in this video. We'll start out with some Stranger Things reveals because, yeah, we covered the Creel House set, but when that was revealed, they also revealed two more sets. There's this radio station, the Squawk set, which is something I wish you could just go to Target, buy it for $20. But of course, LEGO's like, hey, you could only get this for like the first week of the Creel House releasing, which it releases January 1st. If you purchase that at LEGO stores and shop at home, keep in mind that's a $300 set. So it is frustrating that a theme that lacks cheap minifigure sets has a small minifigure set that's very hard to get, not only with that $300 price, but with the narrow window where these things sell out so quick. Star Trek had a giveaway promo, and that thing sold out early. Like, it was only available for like 1 or 2 days before it sold out, which was shorter than the window it was supposed to be available. However, unlike the Star Trek set, there's no exclusive minifigures here, which I appreciate because it makes this a little bit less desirable. Okay, the minifigure builds are exclusive, but the pieces, the prints, the colors, those all come in different sets. I saw somebody on Twitter like, oh my gosh, this LEGO set revealed a new outfit for Joyce and Hopper. Sorry to break it to you, this is just LEGO reusing pieces that are found in other sets so that they don't have to print new pieces here. I like that because if I do miss out on this, I won't feel so left out. You know, we had that one exclusive Barb minifigure. That was a San Diego Comic-Con set in 2019. That goes for thousands of dollars now. That's a character that was only ever released for that very narrow window. It was extremely hard to get. Hopper over here rocking that Lex Luthor phase. I think the beard is too much. The original figure is obviously way better, but again, that had exclusive printing. There is an exclusive piece in here, which is this 1x2 print of a rubber chicken. That's the type of exclusive piece for these giveaway promos that I could totally live with. You know, the Goonies giveaway promo did the same thing where the minifigures were built out of existing pieces, but you had like one print that was not super consequential. The build here is really fun. I mean, there's not any other radio stations in LEGO. I mean, there's like recording booths. That's about the closest thing from what I can think of. But this is just a really great vignette. I like the clutteredness of that front area. There's a bunch of stickers that are exclusive to the set, which are directly referencing the scenes in the show that this appears in. I just finished, you know, what was released of season 5, so I'm very familiar here. And it's just a cute set to display. I especially like inside the recording booth, where it's pretty comfy if you ask me. I also like the design of the checkered floor, which looks pretty great. So yeah, really cool set. I wish this was something I could just buy for $20. Part of me, though, is tempted to get the Creel House on release. We'll have to wait and see. But dang, that's $300, which is so much. There was one other LEGO Stranger Things set, which is a $40 Stranger Things Brickheads collection. This one has Holly, Max, 11, and a Demogorgon. Now, 11 and a Demogorgon did come in a Brickhead set a couple years ago, but of course that was season 111, and the Demogorgon is vastly different in this set. This is a more updated look that's more accurate in the colors than that original version that was from that older Brickheads or even the minifigure that we got. The use of that plant piece for the mouth is pretty interesting. We don't have the teeth printing anymore, but the shaping, I think, is more accurate compared to that original version. I will also say I don't know if the likeness of these other characters is really as striking compared to some of the other Stranger Things Brickheads. We got one in 2025 as well, which I thought they did a great job capturing those characters. But I look at this and I'm like, that doesn't really look like 11 from season 5, which I thought the minifigure version from the Creel House did excellently. I think Holly is all right. That outfit is striking, and I do think that matches the character from the show. The hair isn't perfect, and I can say the same with Max. The hair feels a little bit off there. So yeah, not my favorite Brickheads. I'm not even a fan of Brickheads, but it's interesting to just have this random season 5 release. I would have liked if this $40 set was like a $40 minifigure set, but whatever. For more random reveals, there was a FIFA World Cup official trophy reveal, which kicks off this new theme called Editions. This seems to be where they'll be putting a lot of sports themed builds, Apparently we're gonna get helmets in this theme and stuff like that. This set releases March 1st, 2026 for $200 with a total of 2,842 pieces and one minifigure. I'm not into FIFA, I'm not into sports, but I do find parts of this set interesting. The design here I feel is a little bit of a letdown, where we have a pearl gold base and only a brush of lattice gold with that front figure design and some of the design on the front there above. I wish this whole thing was lattice gold. I mean, we got the Iron Man set that's coming out on January 1st. That's entirely in lattice gold. They don't use pearl gold there. I mean, to be fair, this would require a lot more lattice gold pieces than the amount that the Iron Man set used. Now this is cool how it opens up and reveals kind of this little display stand right here with a minifigure, and that's the most interesting part to me. That minifigure rules. There's an exclusive FIFA torso print. There's the first time we're getting that hood hat combo in that specific color combination. And then we got an exclusive molded FIFA trophy piece, which that is freaking awesome. I love the detailing there. In particular, how they Lego-fied the statue at the front there. Like, it looks like a minifigure instead of a human. I want to get that minifigure. I don't care about the trophy build here. You can see how there's a print at the bottom that says FIFA World Cup. And honestly, the more I look at it, I really wish that top part was a little bit smoother and more round. You look at the design of the actual FIFA trophy, this looks a bit too blocky and it's kind of hard to tell what's going on here. This needed more sharp angles, more roundness. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on this FIFA trophy set.
There were 3 new Spider-Man sets. They're the 4+ Spidey and his amazing friends, which yes, I'm totally outside the demographic, but they tend to put some cool figures in here. And a lot of us were thinking that, hey, since we're going to get this pirate ship set, this could be our first shot at a Lego Jeff the Land Shark. However, they did not include that character in this set. This is apparently $50 for 201 pieces, and I will admit, I do kind of like this set. The price is absolutely terrible. This should not be anywhere near $50. It's a highway robbery for families, but this really stupid looking Spider-Man pirate ship is also very adorable. It reminds me of the 4+ pirate sets that we got way back in like the early 2000s. I think it was around 2004. So that's pretty nostalgic to me. I like the build there, even though it's incredibly simplified. I like the colors and everything. But this has a nice batch of minifigures where you have like pirate variants of Ghost Spider, Spin as they call Miles Morales now, and Spider-Man, which they have pretty cool special little pirate hats there for their colors and printing. Like, I've never seen those pieces in those particular colors.
The hats are exclusive. The Spider-Man minifigure comes in all the other sets in this wave except with the hat. Miles is only found in this set. Green Goblin is only found in this set.
So yeah, they don't have Jeff in here, and it is extremely overpriced, but if I ever see this on clearance, I'll get it. Then there's this underwater vehicle set with 154 pieces for $35. That's also a terrible price. Everything included looks like this should be a $20 set, but they do overcharge for these junior sets, even if they do have some really nice prints. The design of this has minifigures that seemingly give us a new Doc Ock. Don't have much to say with the builds here, though. This time I don't care about the builds at all here. They just look like something for very small children, which, hey, it's a 4+ set. What should I expect? Then finally, there's a $10 set, which is 61 pieces. This one has a Spider-Man motorcycle that looks, again, like something for little children. In no way that draws me in like nostalgia of that big pirate ship set. There's a pizza launcher, which that's really funny. And that's a new Rhino, seemingly, with a new face print that just has a closed smirk and the design of a new torso compared to previous Spidey and his amazing friends Rhinos. Also, there's this Duplo Spidey and his amazing friends January 2026 set. The Spidey Rex here actually looks like a T-Rex compared to the raptor-looking ones from the official LEGO system sets last year. Just wanted to point that out.
For the Star Wars January wave, that isn't the 3 that we already looked at in other videos. We have Cobb Speeder, which is the most interesting set of this wave for me. I absolutely love the exclusive minifigures in this set. It's our first ever Cobb Vanth, and the design has a really nice battle damage Boba Fett outfit. It's also the first time that we're getting the dog show judge hair in that gray color, which is usable outside of the Star Wars setting. The new face print is amazing. Also, the Cad Bane design, it looks awesome. I love the arm printing there. It's always great to see Cad Bane in a Lego set. The design of the blue milk is also a new print, which is pretty adorable. The speeder is a fine build. You know, this is a set I would get for the minifigures. There's just one problem. The price is ridiculous. It's $35 for 207 pieces. This is a set that looks like it should be $20 at most. I get that we're getting really detailed minifigures, but that's just a highway robbery when so many 2026 sets have excellent prices. I forget that Star Wars does mechs. It's unlike Lego Marvel, where you only get one minifigure. However, they used to be $18 up until this 2026 release, which thankfully is $15. That's for 151 pieces, so perfect price per piece ratio if you're that type of person. The Clone Shock Trooper comes in here, and it's the cheapest way to get that minifigure. We got it in that $30 battle pack in 2024, then before that in the rather expensive Coruscant gunship. So it's cool to get that in a cheap way, but yeah, it's hilarious to me that mechs have reached Lego Star Wars. There is a $10 Mandalorian and Grogu set, which I'm so glad we're getting licensed $10 sets. I do think the one for Lego Marvel is better. You got what's basically the same Mando minifigure that we've gotten in many sets before. I guess technically this is the cheapest set at $10 to get that design. The build there is cute. 58 pieces, which I guess isn't a great price per piece ratio, but yeah, I want more $10 sets that you could just buy in impulse like this set right here. The new boxes are actually really interesting looking with the blue and everything there. Apparently they're holographic, which is intriguing. Kind of reminded me of the ones they had for the anniversary sets, like 2 years before these. Then we have this weird $20 4+ Lego Grogu's Homestead set. The design here is a very chibi looking Grogu that's unlike any other Grogu build we've gotten before. I actually think this is pretty cute. Like, the printed face there is pretty adorable. I also like the use of those leaf pieces for the ear. That's pretty clever. It seems like this is posable with those arms as well. There's also a print for this creature design right here, and a cute little side build and everything there. Price per piece ratio is not good because it is a 4+ set, so it's 107 pieces for $20, but it's still a pretty unique set. Finally, there's the Siege of Mandalore Battle Pack for $23. I'm still kind of peeved that these battle packs, which would be something that was like $13 back in the day, are $23 now. You get 2 of the Ahsoka Troopers, which haven't really come in, more than 2 sets since 2020. The design of the Super Commandos, though, are new, and it's cool to get those, both with distinct printing. We haven't gotten those in so many years, so I like the update there. The build isn't anything too unique, but I actually do like this little terrain section right here, how they use that railing piece. But yeah, that's it for LEGO Star Wars for January. And it seems like the seasonal LEGO Looney Tunes set is just going to be a trend. Last year, we got Tweety Bird. This time, we got Bugs Bunny, apparently to celebrate Easter. This is a 605-piece set for $40. I like the little diorama that's going on here with Bugs just popping out of the ground with a carrot. This actually looks a lot better than brick build busts, where I think they got the angles on the face done well. I like the use of the, mudguard piece around what are exclusive printed tile pieces up there. That's really cool. The nose seemingly has an exclusive print. I do wish we just got Looney Tunes minifigure sets, but I think it's hard to think of the locations that we would get for Looney Tunes minifigure sets. So we're just stuck with that CMF series, which is one of my favorite CMF series that got all those Looney Tunes characters out in minifigure form. That was back when Space Jam 2 released in 2021. That set releases January 1st, as does this seasonal Easter basket set, which is $15 for 216 pieces. All I have to say here is that the eggs here look a bit like Yoshi eggs. Speaking of seasonal, there's also this $20 345-piece set of these love letters for Valentine's Day. At least this is something different. You know, I haven't seen anything like this for Valentine's Day Lego Store exclusive sets, but it's nothing for me. The Lovebird set, I think, is a better Valentine's Day set for 2026, which is $50.
Oh yeah, we're going to cover some Harry Potter, which, if you know who I am, yeah, we're covering some Lego Harry Potter. I have fallen out of love for this theme, and I have sold most of my Harry Potter sets, but I will give you my honest opinions on if I think these sets are interesting or not. This is the $170 Philosopher's Stone Collector's Edition, which seemingly celebrates 25 years of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone movie. The design here, I guess, in a way, also celebrates 25 years of the Lego Harry Potter theme. But this is another one of those large-scale models where you have the billionth large-scale Hedwig, it feels like. That doesn't really feel distinct there. I do find it interesting that they have the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone name on there and not Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Maybe that'll be included as an alternative, because in the United States, or I think just in North America in general, the movie was called Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, same with the books. So I feel like they should have that option. I think of stuff like the Sega Genesis controller, where they have regional based stickers for each of these different regions. Just would make sense for such a premium collector's edition set. Regardless, $170 is a little bit pricey for what's included here. You have some builds for books and a trunk and even a wizard card. That is a cool tile piece going on there for the wizard card. The Philosopher's Stone, I always wanted like a physical copy of that when I saw the movie back in the day, because it was just such a cool looking gem. And the recreation's kind of fine, but I don't know. It almost just feels like a blob of translucent parts, and I wish this had a little bit more texture and angles to it.
The candle build is cool. I like how the other side of the book has a secret Hogwarts Express diorama, and the other side of the trunk has a couple of vignettes of different rooms seen in the Sorcerer's Stone movie. Lots of stickers around here. The exclusive minifigures are also ultra detailed as well. Not only seeing these sweater prints so specific, but now they have arm printing, which is rare for Harry Potter sweaters. There's also the chess scene diorama that's captured with the minifigure scale stuff at the front.
This is just hilarious. I don't know what is going on here. This enchanted flying forward set. The design of the figures in here is absolutely horrendous. This scale hasn't been done before, and you'll see some more weird new 2026 scales for minifigures, but nothing reaches the point of these two right here. Those are terrible looking.
Lego is usually really good at keeping face prints for figures of any scale printed. This is stickered though. They couldn't even go that far.
The design of the flying forward card, though, is, you know, a pretty cool creator expert style of the vehicle that I could see people buying who don't care about Harry Potter. This is apparently an $80 set. Yeah, I guess it's worth the $80 price if this is your thing.
The eject function seems fun. I'll give it that.
There's Luna Lovegood's house for the first time ever in Lego Harry Potter, and that was a house that I would never expect to get in Lego Harry Potter back when I loved this theme in like 2021. They're really doing some deep cuts here. The shaping there is very interesting. But yeah, I think the $80 price is worth it if this is your thing. I like the angles and everything there. It does have Burrow vibes.
Luna's room build is cozy, and then the other main room at the bottom floor has a very interesting play feature I saw from Tiago's review, which involves a light brick. And basically at the base, you could switch which symbol it's projecting. The projection of the symbols looks great. I actually do like the creativity there. This is the first time we're getting Luna's dad as a minifigure ever. That's a pretty interesting character to get for the first time. The minifigures and everything, there's just so many variants of these characters that I can't pinpoint, oh yeah, this is a cool new variant or anything there. I also like the new Quibbler print, which is different from, say, the CMF one we got long ago. Also note that in these sets, you're going to see a lot of different Patronuses. As with the rest of the build, I mean, that other room doesn't have too much going on. One other thing I appreciate is how they have those really like creaky staircases that are oddly positioned and everything. I don't know. I like how that turned out. I like a weird staircase in a Lego set, dang it.
It's interesting that there's no anniversary minifigures in any of these sets like they did with the 20th anniversary. Then there's this Cauldron Secret Potions Classroom set. This is $60, and the Cauldron build actually has some nice shaping to it.
This is another one where it opens up to have a classroom, you know, like the books back in the day. Pretty simple builds inside there, but very compact. Only thing I have to note here is that this bubbly design is coming in this set in the first time in this color. It's come in some sets in 2025. I also want to note, I like the new box designs, which does change stuff up from the last couple years for Harry Potter, you know, with 25 years of magic and everything there.
There's a $100 Hogwarts Castle Hospital wing, which you could show me the outside of this, and I can't even tell that that's what it's going for, the hospital wing. I mean, I just think of the hospital wing we got, like, what, 2022, was it? And the design of that feels a lot more distinct, but that was just like the clock tower build and everything there. This just feels like a random section of Hogwarts that they have going on here. It's kind of crazy that this is just like a $100 release. It doesn't even look like it's worth it or anything too interesting, but you know, this is an outsider looking in here, so who am I to say?
While the interior isn't too distinguished, there are some pretty cool parts. I mean, the Ravenclaw common room is neat. The second floor hospital wing is pretty standard. I mean, the design of the Skelegrowth now uses a regular skeleton minifigure head instead of the baby skeleton head that was so morbid with that 2022 version. Then underneath, there's a defense against the dark arts classroom, which you could pull out and expand. So that's a pretty interesting feature. It's also the first time we're ever getting Lupin's Wolf Patronus. We've never gotten a Wolf Patronus, so that is very welcome. And this connects to make that main tower set from last year even bigger.
There's a $15 Sorting Hat Ceremony set. Oh my gosh, I would have been in love with this if I was still into Lego Harry Potter. These small sets that just capture such an iconic scene for cheap, they're right up my alley. I mean, the original Sorting Hat set is something that's pretty iconic to my childhood. It's technically the first ever Lego Harry Potter set, so it's actually kind of awesome that they remake that for the 25th anniversary. The design here has a little spinning wheel so you can decide which house they're in, which, yeah, I kind of like that they have a little feature to decide what house they're in.
I also like the exclusive face print for Harry, which not only has a chipper face, but a closed eye expression, which is very interesting.
And I like how they have the score whatever at the back. Again, solid set. If only I still bought this theme. People are going to be annoyed in the comments, aren't they? Then we have this Cornish Pixie. This is a $320 set for $30. The design being a brick-built Cornish Pixie, which we see lots of brick-built things from this Harry Potter line nowadays, like brick-built characters and creatures. I actually really like the shaping of this character on its face. The translucent wings in particular are actually a really nice recolor of windshield pieces, it looks like.
I like the Gilderoy Lockhart build for the book right there. Even if it's unfortunate that it's a sticker, not a print at the front cover. I love the Lego minifigure appearance. I also like this spilt ink design. I'm curious what this piece is. You're going to have to point that out in the comments.
And speaking of sets I would be all over, oh my gosh, I've been asking for this Hagrid and Harry's Privet Drive escape set for like years, ever since the Harry Potter line came back. I don't know why they never did this scene as a cheap set until now. But they finally did it for $20, and I think they did a great job with the motorcycle and the sidecar. You get that version of Hagrid with the goggles that looks great. The minifigures for the Death Eaters that are fantastic to get in such a cheap set. It's too bad this franchise is dead to me. I kind of loved LEGO Creators Summer 2025. There's so many fun and creative sets in that wave. This January 2026 wave, I find kind of disappointing, honestly, which is sad because there's a retro gaming console as a set. That is so up my alley. I mean, my favorite set of 2025 is the Game Boy. But compare this to the Game Boy and it's so lame. I mean, there's the problem of it being just a generic retro gaming console that it just ends up kind of being confusing at what it's trying to represent. The design here uses cartridges that you swap out, and the cartridges themselves also have the pictures that's supposed to be replicating graphics on the screen there. I'm not impressed by any building techniques or anything here. It just looks kind of like a random polybag build, but this is a full $20 set. I mean, the Game Boy was so complex in how it used different pieces to replicate buttons and everything here, but they just kind of placed buttons on this design with seemingly no texture to go on. But I could be wrong. Maybe if you press down on these buttons, they do push in a bit like the Game Boy. But just seeing how this is built from the outside here, it doesn't seem like that's the case. The design rebuilds into a PC, and I think the restriction that the color scheme of the retro gaming console brings really holds this back. It's like a random mishmash of colors, and it looks even worse with the arcade machine, especially since there's no prints or stickers in this set. So it just looks like a big mishmash build that maybe like a toddler would make, if I had to be honest. Maybe I'm being too hard on this set, but this really doesn't work for me, even though it's right up my alley in its idea. Anyways, there's this fierce dinosaur. 20 bucks, a pretty solid Lego Creator dinosaur build. I like how skinny it is this time around, and I think the price is good. Rebuilds into a Stegosaurus and a Pterodactyl, which are fine builds as well. $20 is a good price. $10 Turtle's pretty cute, good price with 124 pieces. I think I like the frog the best, honestly. $10 Hamster has an even better price per piece ratio with 166 pieces. Hamster's pretty adorable. The bird second build is pretty cute. The hedgehog looks a little bit off, but that's fine. There's also this space exploration telescope, which the telescope's pretty cool for a build, you know, even as a light brick. What I'm so interested in is this little mini solar system model. First off, a minifigure headpiece print of Earth right there. That is absolutely insane. I love that. I want to see people use that. Then you got just a variety of different types of spheres to get those planets in, whether it be like the BB-8 body, just like a Technic ball. Really love how that's going on. This is an adorable mini build as well, and I like how, according to the description, you could spin those planets around. I mean, dang, that's a side build, but that's like gonna sell me on this set. It's 278 pieces for $35, so it's like one of the most expensive and overpriced if you look at price per piece ratio for these creator sets, so I think they knew what they were doing. Out of all these sets, that's the one I'm most likely to buy. The alt builds include a microscope, which I guess that's where these slides come into play, as well as a UFO, where that center part is where the light brick comes into play for that build. $30 playful puppy with 336 pieces. I actually really like how cartoony this puppy looks. Like, it has such a round style with its angles and everything there. It almost looks like a 2006 CG movie puppy, or like a DS game puppy or something like that. Maybe from Nintendogs. So yeah, it has a distinct style I quite like. The squirrel's pretty cute too. And even the little duckling. This is honestly one of my favorite sets from this wave. $35 fierce shark with a treasure chest. Yeah, solid shark build, but my favorite is actually the manta ray. I used to be a sucker for manta rays. That was like one of my favorite animals, and I love how they built that design. And then this anglerfish over here is pretty cool, but I don't know if the gray color works. Maybe that is accurate though. I'm just used to seeing that in like dark blues, or maybe I'm just thinking of the Lego set from back in the day. $30 hummingbird. I don't know. I feel like the lining here with all these plates and everything looks a little bit strange. It almost looks too robotic for what they're going for with a hummingbird, and I wish this was more round, like say the puppy. The alt build with a fish is whatever, and yeah, the butterfly. This one isn't one of my favorites, honestly. $50 beautiful dolphin set. Yeah, the dolphin builds are, you know, they're fine, but I kind of like how they built this wave scene going on here. This is actually kind of like an artistic choice that's interesting. And now they have like a little seascape at the bottom. The design of the seahorse is actually really pretty with the blues, and I like the blue crab as well, which, yeah, I haven't seen a blue crab from Lego before. That's really neat.
There's a cool jellyfish there too.
So the Lego Disney January 1st, 2026 sets have a very weird new type of figure. Yeah, I don't even know what to call this type of figure. Mini actual dolls, I don't know, they look like smaller versions of those dolls we saw like in 2024. This is Jasmine and Rapunzel for $10, which is a random selection of two princesses. And then they also have a $10 2-pack with Anna and Elsa. The design of this castle right here is $40 apparently, and that's the last of these weird mini doll, whatever the heck we want to call them, sets. This one is called a castle, but it's literally just, oh yeah, here's what you can use to display these characters. See how there's 6 slots and everything there? It's pretty shameless. There's a $50 Olaf and Bruni set, which the brick-built Olaf is the most detailed brick-built Olaf yet. That looks mostly good. It's just the mouth kind of looks a little bit strange, just using those plates right here, that if you look at it too long, something looks very off there for the use of that as an open mouth. Bruni looks like a more decked out version of the 2021 one that was like around $10. $50 is fine for the price of these two characters, just seeing how substantial that Olaf build is. There's another $50 set, which is this 4+ Elsa's Ice Castle with like a roller coaster around it. This is so not worth $50. At 216 pieces, it really shows, but it is a 4+ set, so I guess that just excuses it for being a ridiculous price. I don't know, Lego loves ripping off families. The design of this just feels very basic for its roller coaster. It reminds me of that 4+ Toy Story 4 roller coaster that really ticked me off back in 2019. Then there's a $35 Lego Aristocats set, which is our first specifically branded Lego Aristocats set ever, which is Adorable Marie, as they call it. The design of this is easily the best set of this January 1st Disney wave. But yeah, this is the only set that I could see being interesting to AFOLs in this whole wave. I like how they built up the Marie character, even though at some points with the head there, it looks a little bit robotic. I like the shaping of the face especially and everything, and this is a classic Disney movie that it kind of took a while to see turning into the world of Lego, but it's kind of interesting to see like the branding in the corner there that says the Aristocats and everything. I don't know, I like when they do weird licensed tie-ins and everything.
There's a $20 Little Mermaid set, which I have nothing to add with this one. I mean, yeah, this exists, 179 pieces. I honestly find this 2026 poly bag with an Ariel mini doll more interesting. You know, it's not one of those micro dolls like that $20 set. It's a full-on mini doll, and getting this updated version of Ariel with the tan skin was only found in a very expensive Royal Pets Castle set from 2025. So it's really nice to see this just in a cheap $5 poly bag. Finally, there's a Brickheads for Angel from Lilo and Stitch. Buildable Angel is way better than this Brickheads. The thing that's very notable about this Brickheads is that it's the first single Brickhead to be $13. Yeah, they're bumping up the price of single character Brickheads. That is ridiculous if you ask me. $10 was already pushing it for these characters.
So we got the rest of the Speed Champions wave revealed. Look, the January wave already has the DeLorean, the Lightning McQueen, and the F1 movie car, which are all different movies that we haven't gotten in the world from Speed Champions before, and are sets, some of them that I've wanted for years, some of them that just came out of nowhere that are one of my favorite sets already. I absolutely love those so much. So how do these sets hold up to those in the same wave? Well, I think they're good, but I don't know if I'll buy any of them. None of them are movie-based, but one of them is video game-based. This is based off of a specific car that was made for Gran Turismo. So that's pretty cool. It's the Bugatti Vision Gran Turismo, which will retail for $28 like any of the other Speed Champions car sets with 284 pieces. It's a good deal in my opinion.
I love the Michelin tires, which have that printing on there. We also have like the Michelin Man on that little 1x1, which is funny.
Then there's the Ferrari SF90 XX Stradale, which I probably mispronounced that. Also $28, this time with 339 pieces. Super sleek and premium looking Ferrari. I love how that came out. Won't be buying it, but really appreciate that. I just feel like if I start buying Speed Champions again that aren't the movie ones, then I'm just going to go down a rabbit hole of all these pretty looking cars, even if cars aren't my thing, just to deck out my minifigures.
Great torso print with the jacket there.
Then there's the McLaren W1, which is, once again, $28, 287 pieces. I guess this is my least favorite of the bunch, but it still looks really cool. I like how they did the mirrors at the side.
Another great jacket torso print.
So yeah, good batch, even though they're not movie sets.
Finally, there's an F1 Academy reveal, which the F1 Academy, as somebody who is not into F1, Formula 1, I believe is like the women's division of Formula 1. And apparently in 2026, there's going to be a specific branded Lego car. And this is exactly what this is based off of. This will be piloted by driver Esme Coasterman, which I hope I pronounced her name right. And you can see the minifigure is kind of based off her, but it's more generified. Like, the design of the minifigure has yellow skin instead of flesh skin. It's not one-to-one, so that's kind of a weird choice by Lego. I don't know if they just couldn't secure the rights for her. I do love that helmet piece getting kind of like a Lego printing on the top there. You also get the controller print as well. I mean, this is in line with the F1 sets from 2025. Yeah, I think this is a cool car. The color scheme's a little bit off for me, but, it does have a very Lego-like feel going on here. Like every other Speed Champion single car set, this is $28. There's the most randomest release, which is a Gabby's Dollhouse set, and it's called Gabby's Brick-Built Cat Friends. Y'all are probably not invested in this theme. It's a strange theme that was restricted to 4+, but this is the only set from the theme that's not 4+. This is 6+. That is interesting. Second off, this is the only set from this theme to not come out in summer. Like, this is the first January release. Lots of nice prints for the faces here. It's 324 pieces for $45, which is not a great price per piece ratio. I don't have much to say here. I mean, this is not a theme I cared too much about, but it's just such a weird release. I had to plop it in this video. We'll end on Lego Dreamzzz. Lego Dreamzzz is a theme that is up my alley in theory. I love original Lego themes, but I got overloaded on this theme right from the start where they put so many sets out, all with alternate builds, and it kind of just made me not want to touch this theme at all, even though I got like all of the first wave. The fact that there was so many intriguing sets at once isn't a problem with the theme, it's more of a me problem. I could get overloaded very easily. But this might be the last wave, and there's always interesting builds and pieces in this theme. So this is the Fox Guardian mech, which is $80 for 883 pieces. A lot of people were saying Series 28 was furry. I think this set is infinitely more furry. This is straight up an Anthro Fox in this like night outfit. The design of that head is actually really well shaped and everything there. Don't really care too much for the build here because this is way too mech-like for me. The alternate build of this four-legged flying fox is intriguing enough, but yeah, I could easily skip on this set. This minifigure's headdress is absolutely insane if you ask me. They even have like a Z-Blob baby fox. I mean, yeah, I'll call these baby fox for the rest of the video. That's a really cute mold. Then there's Crocodile Submarine, which is $70 for 1,107 pieces, which is absolutely insane for price per piece ratio. I'm not sure if any of the minifigures stand out this time, but now you have like a Patronus version of that fox. I don't even know what's going on with that piece, but I like it. The design here of this Crocodile Submarine actually has really nice shaping once again for the head. This is something that I feel would be a build from Lego Chima if Lego Chima existed nowadays, because it comes off a lot more complex and detailed with the crocodile textures than any of the Lego Chima sets did. It rebuilds into like a completely different animal, also Chima-esque, with what I believe is an eagle going on there. That is actually a pretty flawless rebuild as well. A strong set, not a set for me. I don't really care about displaying these types of brick-built action animals or whatever. I wasn't into Chima in the first place, but I could totally appreciate the artistry there. There's a $50 Nightmare Scorpion Digger, which is 505 pieces. This is another thing that screams Chima to me. I mean, we had the Scorpions for like a wave. The most interesting part of the design here, not that it's a bad build at all, because this looks pretty darn cool, are how it uses that digger piece for the claws and the tail there. That's an interesting part usage. And it rebuilds into, I don't know, it looks a little bit like a bug. That's also a very drastically different build, just using the same pieces as that main build. I am very impressed by this wave, even as somebody who never gave a crap about Chiba. Then they have this dino jet right here, which is kind of interesting to see a dinosaur build in LEGO Dreamzzz. The main build's a Brontosaurus, and it rebuilds into a Stegosaurus, both of which look excellent for this framework that they're using, of almost like this mechanical dino design with translucent pieces and everything. There's this design for the, I'm going to call it the baby fox, with a translucent orange coloring this time around. 1,007 pieces for $100 is spot on with the price per piece ratio. Finally, there's the Tiger Shark Tank. Yeah, a LEGO Shark Tank set. This is $140 for 1,548 pieces. It rebuilds into a Tiger Shark pirate ship, which is an interesting use of those treads for the sails. Both of these designs look awesome if you ask me. The design of the minifigures really makes me wish that I connected more with this team to say, oh, this version is exclusive, this version is exclusive, because the minifigures in this team are so freaking detailed. I feel like I'm not giving it justice. But again, I'm so disconnected and overwhelmed from this theme, it's hard for me to talk about, honestly. This probably has my favorite of the baby fox whatevers, where there's like a crystal clear design. You know, it has a little bit of sparkle in there, but that looks awesome. I love that color. So yeah, I think this video marks me covering most themes for 2026. I was going to include Friends, but I feel like I want to give Friends a separate video. There are some amazing sets. I mean, you'll see in my most wanted list, I really want this supermarket set so bad. That's 50 sets total for this video. Like, right on 50 if I did not count wrong. Maybe I did. I don't know. You'll have to let me know in the comments. Let me know which theme you thought had the best sets of this video. I hate saying it, but I feel like Harry Potter had the best sets of this video. But again, I am not buying any of those sets. Subscribe here for LEGO news and commentary and honest LEGO takes. Sorry for delay on this video and other longer videos. I've just been working on this one for so long, and I've been battling that cold. Seriously, you hitting that like button, hitting the subscribe button, and leaving a comment helps this channel so much when the algorithm is so rough. I'll see you later. Peace out.